This morning of 5 victims of an incident which is widely known. There are actually 2 young boys, one adult lady and 2 adult men. And what we found were multiple injuries. These injuries were similar in all of them. They were mainly stab wounds, which are multiple on the chest. Some of them had slash wounds on the neck. And there were a lot of multiple blunt trauma to the head. So meaning that with that external finding, internally there were head injuries, there were bleeding, there were severe great vessels of the neck. So all of them died. From the stab wounds, looked like it was the same weapon. And of course, there were multiple weapons because there were injuries caused by blunt weapon, yeah, which was so mostly on the head. But for the stab wounds, for me, when I look at it, it looked like it was caused by the same weapon. Yes. Very high, it was one attacker. But if you are more than one, probably the weapon used was similar. Yes. So meaning that if it was a knife, probably it's a knife with the same dimensions. But I think it was one person from what I've seen. Yes.
And Dr., from your own observations, who is the person that bear the brunt of the most stab wounds or injuries from all the bodies collected?
The person who got the most injuries was the father and the brother, actually. They're the ones who got the most injuries. Yes.
The most injury means how many
stab wounds? I cannot remember exactly how many, but there were very many stab wounds with the severe neck. It's like it was someone who was doing it with a lot of anger or... yes, yeah.
And from the late casual laborer who was also living from the compound, he also died with consistent injuries to that?
Yeah, when I look at the laborer, most of the injuries were head because it's like he was gotten by surprise. There were blunt trauma to the head, and he didn't put up a lot of resistance. I'm looking for say injuries which we see in defense, they were not so much. So probably it was caught by surprise. Yes.
Were there any defense injuries consistent with someone trying to protect themselves and the other family members?
Especially the mother. The mother had a broken upper arms, like someone who is trying to block a blow from a blunt object. Yes. But of course, also others had stab wounds to the hands, which probably they were trying to block a sharp object. Yes.
And sorry, Dr., if the father is said to have jumped from the balcony before he was actually stabbed, are there any injuries that are consistent with that theory?
I didn't see any injury apart from some bruises which I saw on the head, which probably he could have hit his head down here. Yes.
Yeah. So finally, it is just the same question I had asked, but I wanted it for avoidance of doubt for me to get it a little more clearly.
Yes.
Because this is vital. So you're saying that the weapons that were used the marks are consistent and it could have been the same weapon used, and that if it wasn't the same weapon, then it must have been a similar weapon.
A similar weapon, yes.
And that we cannot necessarily say that there was one attack, or we cannot necessarily say there was one.
Because it's something which is subject to investigations, I'll not be able to comment more on that. But what I'll be able to comment on with certainty, the injuries were looking similar. So, which means that they were caused by a same weapon. Yes, or more than one weapon which are very similar. Yes. Yeah.
Assessment, would you say that they died immediately or it took them a while?
Because of the severity of the injuries and the fact that they were severed, even the neck vessels, probably these are people who are, I'm saying because of the severity of the weapon, or of the injuries, and the amount of blood which was lost, these are people who probably died almost immediately. Yes.
And from the toxicology report, was there any indication?
We've taken samples, and it takes a while usually to know that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much. Okay.
Sorry.
See you.